Checking it recording. This is a read aloud, homeschool read aloud collaboration hosted by Megan at Pennies and Salt. I'll link Megan's channel, Pennies and Salt, in the description box below, and I'll either link the playlist in the description box or the comments. But the brief for this was read aloud. Some people are going to be talking about their read aloud picks for the coming homeschool year. Some people are going to be talking about how they do read aloud time. We're all doing different things. I'm going to, so there'll be, if you're into books, read alouds, and the playlist is going to be interesting for you. And I'm going to watch more like playlists about read alouds. I like books, vlogs about books. So what I'm going to do is I went through my homeschool planner. Every single read aloud we have done in 2021 so far, I'm going to show you. This is not storybooks, textbooks, little books. These are the chapter books, the read aloud books. And we do our read aloud at bedtime. There's one book missing that I couldn't find, and that was a Beast Quest book, and it was one where it was a thick one. It was a double whammy. If you don't know what Beast Quest is, I don't like it. There's like 100 things I'd rather read my sons than Beast Quest, but my oldest Pudge really likes it, and it was his turn. So this was a book. They normally have to conquer some kind of mythical beast, and this one had 2 different beasts in it. That's why it was a thick one. So there is one book missing, a Beast Quest book, but I've got the rest here to show you. If you're new here, my name's Victoria. I'm a homeschooling, home educating, whatever term you prefer, mum of 4, soon to be 5 in England. I do homeschool videos, family vlogs, pregnancy updates at the minute, and a once-a-month gardening collaboration that runs between March and October. You will see me looking like hell in my dressing gown, being interrupted by kids with a messy house, but that's real life for me, loves. Right, let's crack on then. Christmas 2020, we did a lot of Christmas books. We did the Christmasaurus, and then the Christmasaurus and the Winter Witch by Tom Fletcher, The Winter Wolf by Holly Webb, Josie Smith at Christmas by Magdalene Nabb. There's probably some others. We did all Christmassy books. And then in January 2021, and it's the end of July now, I've already said, so this is like 7 months worth. We did A Secret 7, which are mystery stories written by Enid Blyton. And this would have been chosen by... See, I can tell you chose it as well. This would have been chosen by my 10-year-old Pudge. He likes A Secret 7. Then we had Hedgehogs in the Hall, which is part of the Animal Ark series. Every single book is a different animal that this little girl who grows up in a vet's has to help. Oh, by Lucy Daniels. And this would have been Beanie's Choice, who's 8. Then third was The Family Under the Bridge, and I think by where was it by? Natalie Savage Carlson. This is about a family that's homeless in Paris at Christmas time, and this tramp, what was his name? Armand, helps them out. It's a lovely story, and I snuck this in, so this is my choice. I normally let the kids pick, but every now and then I'll sneak one in. Then we had Enid Blyton, Famous 5. The Famous 5s are mystery stories like The Secret 7, except the Famous 5s have smaller text and they're longer, and they're perhaps for slightly older children than The Secret 7, but the same kind of thing. This would have been Beanie's Choice. Yeah, this would have been Beanie's Choice, who's 8, so that means Pudge has missed a choice somewhere. Oh no, unless that's where the Beast Quest one come in. I don't know. Then another Secret 7. See, my kids love Enid Blyton, they love mystery stories. This would have been Pudge's 10's choice. They've got the Secret 7 have got pictures in as well. Well, the odd picture, which the Famous 5 doesn't. Then, see, how we was on Nina Blyton thing, because next, my 8-year-old Beanie would have picked Famous Five. Another Enid Blyton mystery story. Don't worry, that entire list isn't Enid Blyton, but my kids do like Enid Blyton and Jacqueline Wilson, as you'll see. Oh, this would have been my choice, which I snuck in. Carrie's War by Nina Baldwin. Nina Borden. We'd watched the film, and it's about 2 kids that are evacuated during World War II, so it's historical fiction. And I thought, well, we'll watch the film, we'll read the book. And we enjoyed it. We preferred the film. Well, they've both got their good points. The film, I think the book's better in the way it explains more to you, but the film's better in the way that it shows that Mr. Evans is the man that they evacuated to stay with, him and his sister. And Mr. Evans in the book, you don't quite know how to take him, but in the film he's beautifully played by the Welsh actor Alan Armstrong, and you can see that he's not a bad man, it's just his manner. So, Carrie's War, but it's always nice to read the book and watch the film, isn't it? For discussion of how things have changed apart from anything else. Right, A Secret 7. This would have been Pudge's choice, who's 10 again, he loves Secret 7. And then my 8-year-old Beanie would have had Guinea Pig in the Garage, another Animal Ark book, by Lucy Daniels. This one was about, I think it was about a little girl who was desperate for a pet, and she was looking after somebody's guinea pig and the baby guinea pigs while that person was on holiday. And the babies escaped and they had to find them before they got poorly, and would her dad let her adopt one of the guinea pig babies? And yeah, Beanie enjoyed it. Beanie loves his animal stories. Right. So next, Secret 7. Picked by Pudge, who's 10. But this is why I've started sneaking my choices in every now and again, because they will just stick to Enid Blyton's or Jacqueline Wilson's or Animal Art books. This was one I snuck in. The Windvale Sprites by Mackenzie Crook. I love Mackenzie Crook. He's an actor and a writer, and you see him interviewed and he's so chilled out. But anyway, I'll just warn you, at the beginning of the book, he blows a whistle on Santa. Luckily, I skimmed past that when I was reading it. So if you have got kids that, you do Santa and you believe in Santa, just skip that bit. But the rest of the book's amazing. There's some lovely drawings in it as well that Mackenzie Crook did of these sprites. And it's a lovely little tale about leaving nature alone, basically. But it's not told in a preachy way. It was really good and we all enjoyed it. And the end's quite spooky as well. I snuck this one in as well. Josie Smith in Spring by Magdalene Nabb. Because one of there's 3 stories in this book, and the one at the end was the real Easter egg. Something about Easter egg. A real Easter egg, because it was Easter. And it's just nice to read something that ties in with the season and what was learned about Easter and celebration and stuff like that. And I always read Josie Smith books when I was little. And it's just nice for me to read them to my kids. Right, so this was Beanie's choice. Hetty Feather by Jacqueline Wilson. We've read this loads of times, but it is historical fiction. Queen Victoria's Golden Jubilees in it. The Foundling Hospital, which was like an orphanage and really existed, is in it. Life on Victorian streets as a flower girl's in it. It's a really well told yarn about a little girl in Victorian times, but it also teaches you a lot. Right, I remember now. Now is when Pudge had the Beast Quest choice, and then Beanie picked the sequel to Hetty Feather, which is Sophia Battersea by Jacqueline Wilson. And this one's got Victorian freak shows in it, consumption, working in service, social attitudes, seances. So it's another tour of Victorian England, but Hetty Feather's a bit older in it. Then it was Pudge's turn, and he surprised me because he picked Jacqueline Wilson. That's normally Beanie's cup of tea. Jacqueline Wilson Double Act. I read this one when I was little. I think this actually is a copy I had when I was little. But anyway, It's about two twins, Ruby and Garnet. And Garnet's the quiet one and Ruby's the loud, tough one. And Ruby normally gets Garnet to do what she wants. And it's a question of, are they always going to stay together? Are they always going to just do what each other wants? Or are they going to break out and be their own person? It's not very long, but they enjoyed it nonetheless. Then Beanie picked another Jacqueline Wilson, Wave Me Goodbye. This one's about a group of kids who are evacuated during World War II. And they're evacuated to stay with two ladies, Miss Chubb and Mrs. Waverley. And Miss Chubb and Mrs. Waverley, I won't ruin it for you, but things that happened in World War I still affect them even now during World War II, and that's the reason they were thrown together to live together. So it's not just about kids being evacuated, it's also about, you know, some of these people in World War II had already been through a hell of a lot in World War I. Yeah, another good one. Right, here's one I snuck in. I Was There, Boudica's Army. It's not very long, but it's just about when Queen Boudica led the uprising against the Romans in AD 16. It's told through the eyes of a little girl who is English. I can't pronounce it. She's part of the Iceni tribe, England, Queen Boudica, and she makes friends with a Roman boy who has also been affected by the uprising. Then Produce 10 chose The 100 Mile an Hour Dog by Jeremy Strong. It's just a nice little tale about this boy's off school for the Easter holidays and his mum pays him to walk the dog Streaker, who's quite uncontrollable. And he makes a bet with the school bully that he can train her by the end of the school holidays, and all things happen. And Jeremy Strong's the king of children's comedy, isn't he? They enjoyed that. I snuck this one in. I Was There, Titanic. It's about a girl who, with her family, they want to cross to America, where her dad's already gone to start a new life in the new world. And they're in steerage on the Titanic. She makes friends with a boy in first class, and of course the Titanic sinks, and it's quite very educational. It's a bit upsetting as well. I tell you what upset me, I knew it was like women and children for the lifeboats and men had to take the chances, but I didn't know that older boys had to take the chances with the men as well, because there's a mum in it who's trying to pretend her son's a girl so he can get in a lifeboat. Because it made me think, God, if we was on the Titanic, my husband and possibly my oldest son wouldn't have been allowed in a lifeboat. But that's how it was. Right. Oh, and then we read The Worst Thing About My Sister by Jacqueline Wilson. It's about two little girls who are sisters, and because of family circumstances they suddenly have to share a room, which they've not done before because they don't get on very well. And what happens? I have to say I wanted to shake one of the kids in this, but the kids enjoyed it. Now we're reading, we're halfway through. At the moment we're reading Dead Man's Cove by Lauren St. John. This is Produce 10's choice. And it says on it, it's not an Enid Blyton book, but it says on it, fans of Enid Blyton will be like, well, A Dead Man's Cove will delight fans of Enid Blyton, so you might as well have picked Enid Blyton. It's not too bad. There's a bit of intrigue. We don't quite know what's happening yet. And next, I'm going to try and sneak in The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis, because we've not read it before and I think they'll enjoy it. And like you've seen, they will just stick to Enid Blyton and Jacqueline Wilson unless I... What's the name? So that's every single read aloud we've read so far in 2021. There's still a few months left of 2021, so we're bound to cover a lot more. Yeah, but that's what we've read so far. I really hope my battery ran down. I don't want to film that again. Yeah, I'd like it if you could subscribe, please. And check out the other videos in the playlist if you want to know all about books. See you next time for a new video. Bye bye.